Hey guys, welcome back to the We Watch a Movie podcast.
Yeah.
Podcast.
Hey, guys, they can't see us on our podcast, huh?
It's a video podcast.
Yes, it is. Okay. it's a podcast hyphen videocast.
Technology.
It's like that
Lowercase
one
g.
girl that won't take your last name after you get married. She's like, it's a hyphen.
Guys, on the podcast, what we're going to talk about today is NIGHTSTREAM. Sounds just like Night Winds. Film festival gave us press passes to check out some of their films, which is very, very nice of them. And the coolest thing about NIGHTSTREAM is you guys can go to the website and you can buy tickets to the movies one by one. And this one, I believe is available today. If not, I'm going to put the link down below so you guys can go check it out as well. I think it's going to be big. The movie, the first movie we're reviewing from, it's called Anything for Jackson.
Yep.
And anything.
It's not a Meatloaf song, by the way. It's not a Meatloaf song.
I would do anything for Jackson.
But
Alan
I won't
Jackson.
do Bo.
What you done?
Bo Jackson.
I would do Bo Jackson. Maybe you get some of his super.
I would do
football
anything
powers.
for, but I wish Bo Jackson was still. Goddamn, what a talent! But yeah, anything for Jackson.
Anything for Jackson. Yeah, guys, watch this. Obviously, not even a trailer for it. I don't think that there's even a trailer for it. And it blew my underwear off. I was like, I got to get Jay to watch this.
Did you get a skid mark in it?
I got a big old skid mark.
I had a skid mark after a couple of scenes. Dude, there's a video that's going around where this cop in England got caught like hanging on upside down on a fence, and his pants came down. He's wearing tidy whities, and there's a shit stain right in the middle of his underwear, dude. And people were filming it for like 4 minutes, and that's exactly how I felt at the end of this movie. Like I was like hanging upside down on a fence with a shit stain. And his tidy whities.
I gotta watch that, dude, because I love butt skid mark comedy.
I felt bad for the cop because the one guy was like, "Don't help him, he's a cop." I was like, "Well, you can help the dude, for God's sake, he's losing consciousness, and he's got fucking butt crack poop on his tidy whities."
But unless you recognize that cop being a dick to someone before, help the guy out. You don't know if he's a dick
but
or
it
not.
was I was dying laughing. It was like 2 minutes of just pure ecstasy. I would be doing this. Dude, the guy filming it got real close and went right to his crack with the duty. He was like, "What is that?"
If he's relaxed enough to not wipe his butt properly, then you know he's probably not that bad.
Well, no, it looked wet, dude. It looked like he fell off the fence and then shit his pants because he was scared.
Oh, that makes sense. That's what I would tell people, because that's actually less embarrassing than just not proper wiping. I bet.
God, this is such a great promotion for this movie.
Fuck wiping, dude. Fuck
wiping. But that's honestly, it's scary enough that it'd make you do to your pants.
Yeah, it is, and it's funny too. So what the movie is, because I imagine most people don't know what this is at all, but I think that you will, because again, what NIGHTSTREAM is it's a bunch of these film festivals that came together, and since they couldn't do their festivals because of COVID and all that shit, they came together and they're doing this big thing online, which you can buy tickets and watch the movies as they premiere at the screening. So it's really, really cool. But anyways, this movie, I think it's going to be big. I think it's going to be picked up, whether it's going to be on Shudder or Netflix or whatever. Eventually, you all will see this movie. We will not spoil a thing, but the general plot is there's a doctor, an old man, a doctor and his wife, and they lost a son. And basically, that
dude's not kind of old. He's like mummy old. He's like Grand Moff Tarkin from Star Wars.
He's pretty old. Yeah,
his head fell off.
Yeah, it was pretty old. Henry Walsh is the character's name. The actor's Julian Richings. And him and his wife, God, this gnat will not go away. I feel like Mike Pence.
I know, I was going to say, you got a fly on your head. I was going to stop talking. You'd be like, sorry, I felt like I had a fly on my hair. What?
But so they lose their son, or their grandson, I think it was. Yeah, their grandson. They lose their grandson, and they're all broken up about. They're tore up. But their idea is they start playing around in their grief. They start playing around with the devil's juice, and they start
touch that devil juice.
They start getting into Satanism and stuff like that, and learning about it. And their whole idea is to basically kidnap a pregnant woman, and then use this Satanist book that they got, leave it all very vague, to do a spell to have her rebirth their child, their grandchild that they lost, to bring Jackson back. And it's so funny because they're actually like good, nice people. Like when the kidnapping starts, she's like, "Now, honey, I just want to let you know this is the situation. We don't want to hurt you. Do you need some juice?" Like, it's just awkward.
Yeah, dude, I think that's what it's like. What happens when your sweet old grandparents get a hold of the Necronomicon and they're evil as fuck underneath of it all? It's kind of like the same thing. I mean, I felt like I was watching The Visit. Like the sweet old kindly grandparents, and then like some kind of devil upside down cross this, and the manager at Hot Topics recommending it to me that's in the movie. But it felt all that combined into one. But I would classify it, even though it's horror, like it's a horror movie for sure, and it's got a lot of great scenes and a lot of great characters, and they're all well fleshed out. But I would almost put it into a black comedy territory, a little bit of a black comedy.
I'm with you. It's weird. It's the rare black comedy that is a black comedy. It is funny, but it's also actually legit scary. Like there is probably 5 scenes, I'd say 5 strong scenes in this movie where I was actually like, oh fuck, like scared.
Yeah, well, that's that scene that you warned me about, which, by the way, Mike was a good friend. He's like, dude, there's going to be one that makes your wiener shake for 3 days. And it did. At least for a good 24 hours, I was shaking. My wiener was shaking like a doorstop. It was just awful.
And it's long, dude. It's long.
Dude, and I got so goddamn mad at it. I was like, is it fucking done yet? Have you finished? Have you finished your rant? If I had been that woman laying in there, I was like, can you just walk like a normal ghost and fucking bite my titty? Or whatever you're going to do. Can you please stop doing that shit? Because after a while, dude, it's already enough. Like, I'm scared. I'm fucking terrified. There's a bag over your head, and you're dead, and you gotta walk like that. Good God, it's the combination of things I hate the fucking worst. It was the spider walk from The Exorcist mixed with the herky jerkiness of The Ring Girl or Grudge Girl. I don't like that shit, Jim.
Yeah.
And you're right, dude. It's the cool thing about it. As far as what I could see in that particular scene, there was no special effects to make it move like that. That shit was pure contortionism, and those guys are freaky as hell. Like, I mean, it's impressive that you can do that, but you're not going to be invited to the barbecue anytime soon. That's for sure.
Yeah, like Jay said, the biggest thing that scares him, that's why he's so scared of the Grudge. He hates that shit.
I just don't like it.
Well, and I knew when I saw this scene because it fucked me up like bad, like me. It fucked me up, and I was going, "Oh, don't put down the cheesy juice. I do not want this in the house."
You said, "Put down the cheesy bread. Me don't want it."
I was having a flashback to earlier when the girls were squirting, their juice boxes all over the floor. But that one scene, dude, like you said, it's so, and you're probably wondering, like, I thought this was about old people who kidnap someone. What are you talking about? Obviously, when you play around in Satan's butt juice, things go bad. Things go really bad, and you unleash some shit you didn't mean to unleash. Now, what's cool about this movie is they actually go really deep into that. They go really deep into how they concocted this plan, how they ended up with the materials that they needed to concoct this plan. The girl's great. I cannot remember the girl that cannot name, but she does a great job. Both the parents are great. There's a side character who just wants to like shovel their driveway.
That was a gnarly fucking scene though with that dude.
Yeah, dude.
I like that part. He's like, you're doing the right thing. That's like, hey, that's the kind of man that wants the last word no matter what, and he's going to go out with a bang.
That's probably what both presidential candidates wanted to do at the debate.
Hey, look, if I were in a presidential debate and I had no fucking clue what I was going to say or what I was going to do to run the country, that's exactly what I'd say. Is, fuck you, bitch. And then that'd be it.
I win.
Why do you win? Because I win.
But lay the whole thing out. It's really well shot. It's really well filmed, really well acted. You like the characters, and like they're all like two-sided. There's no like I'm a bad guy. Like even the people who are the fucking worst of the worst. Yeah. Kind of like the weird little Satanist kid, dude.
That's the one that looked like Did he not look like an ex-manager at Hot Topics, and now he works at like Geico?
No, dude, he looks like Jason Berry. First off,
he does. I noticed that too. He kind of looked like a really nasty, skinny version of Jackie R. Haley.
I could see that, but to me, he looks like Ryan Reynolds had sex with the Shermanator from Apple Pie.
I saw it in his eyes when he was looking around. I was like, this is what would have happened to Ryan Reynolds if he had stayed behind, not acted, ate garbage juice, and got addicted to meth.
Oh, you know
like
why?
That would have been.
It's because it's a Canadian movie. That's why.
That's
why. Yeah.
By the way, it also
all Canadians have a tiny bit of Ryan Reynolds in them.
A little bit, yeah. I think he just shared his sperm all over the country. But also, here's the thing. I think that he also reminded me a little bit of Willem from Clerks.
I could see that.
Or William, the one that just holds out the sandwich to Silent Bob while he's eating.
The pussy demon.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
But yeah.
We're getting off topic, but man, overall, yeah, it was a really solid movie. I really enjoyed it. And you're right. There's no clear-cut archetype of a bad guy, except for maybe one guy, like clear-cut. He's fucking weird, and there's problems with him. There's already surface-level issues going on with that dude, and you were like, Daddy didn't love you enough, did he? So you already know that issue. But the grandparents, the kidnapped lady, even the grandparents who are obviously the antagonists of the film, you relate to them in some way because you're like, well, you know, they suffered a real bad loss, you know, and they're at their wits' end. I mean, they seem like normal, nice people, and they just, you know, on Saturday evening we got involved with this cult, and they said something about, you know, conjuring up the devil and bringing back our grandson. So we went ahead and tried that. It was either that or crochet. We've already done crocheting.
Yeah, dude. Fuck, it's funny. It's got legit 5, 6 really scary scenes in it. There's one scene they did a little bit too much. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I got bored of that.
At first, though, it scared the fuck out of me because it comes out of nowhere, and the movie surprises you when it comes with its scares. It comes hard and comes with the thunder. I believe, like you said, that guy's a contortionist. I don't think there's any CGI in the movie at all for the most part. It's all practical effects, and it's all very sudden, and it's all like almost every single scare they went for really fucking landed.
Yeah, I've seen those people on like America's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent, those contortionists and stuff. And I think that actually the girl that played in either The Ring or The Grudge was actually a contortionist, and she showed how to do, like, you know, to bring the arms over and do the thing. It's freaky, like freaky. It's freaky, fucking freaky. Like I couldn't even say the words. It's so scary. But yeah, dude, like they're double jointed. It's all weird and nasty. You know, 100 years ago they'd be in the Freak Show, number one in Freak Show in Kazakhstan, but not anymore. But yeah, but he did a great job, and it was scary. It was terrifying. They actually used that guy twice, which it was effective both times.
Yeah.
But
when he came back, I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, the scene with the gun and the other, you know, after a while, if I were in that house, like, all right, yeah, we get it. Okay, go ahead and do your thing. Because
I definitely expected somebody to say that, be like, would you stop?
Did you see that part though when they put the salt down and she finally walks away? She's like, oh. like I don't know if that was, yeah, I don't know if that was supposed to be funny, but like we can't tell you exactly what it is, but there's a ghost thing that happens over and over and over and over and over again, and effective at first, yes, maybe a couple of times, but if they put the salt down, it like blocks the spirits. And it's that one scene when she walks in and she's like, and she like walks like, I wonder if there's any biscuits left in the cupboard.
Yeah, she walks in to do her thing, and then she's just like, oh. That shit made me laugh too.
It's like when you're trying to go hang out with your older brothers or something like that, and they finally shut the door and they say, get out, dweeb.
Kind of, man. But yeah, dude, honestly, let me ask you this. How popular do you think this is going to be? Like how big do you think the movie's? I think it's going to blow up.
I don't know if well, I hope it blows up. I want as many people as possible to see it. I guess it just depends on how they release it and what kind of advertisement goes into it. I mean, that's really going to be all. I mean, I think like it's cool for me when movies get big by word of mouth versus just having like giant $1 million advertisements on TV, because it's always then it's the part of the discovery. You're like, holy shit, you got to check this out, and everybody's talking about it. Kind of like how it's not a movie, but like Tiger King. Everybody fucking started talking about Tiger King, and it blew up. I hope it does something like that. But
if this thing goes to Netflix, man, which I'm not saying I'm rooting for Netflix, because, you know, I'm just saying, like, if it goes to Netflix, I think it has a chance to really, really be super popular. Obviously, it's not going to go to theaters except for a few theaters because, you know, COVID. Nothing's going to theaters. I hope they don't hold it off for like 2 years and like really wait to release it. I guess it depends on who buys it. I don't know how that shit works with film festivals and whatnot, but I would imagine
Netflix is the right route. And on top of that, they could probably release it limited on VOD. Maybe get a little extra coin or something like that. That's what I don't know. Me and Mike are stupid. We don't understand marketing or how you do stuff like that because we're just a small time little nothing channel. But that's what I would do if I had the controlling. The first place I'm looking at the highest or biggest streaming services available, which would be Netflix or Amazon.
Yeah, I'm looking up the NIGHTSTREAM right now to see if they have any showtimes left, because I'm going to release this in the morning and see if I can find one. Anything for Jackson. Let's see here. Okay. Come on. Give Daddy what he wants. Give me what I
want, and I'll go away.
Precisely. Okay, Friday, October the 9th. You guys can buy tickets to watch this for the screenings at 8:45, 7:45, and 5:45. I don't know what time zone that's in, but if you do want to check it out, and I recommend that you do, it's on there as well.
So it's going to be on. Those are like theater, like they can go to the theater.
No, they're on. Like you can buy tickets to watch it online at the film festival.
I imagine going to the movie theater and seeing this. That would have fucked people up.
That would have been fun. And again, it's got, you know what it has, kind of, dude? It kind of has a Sam Raimi feel to it. Not the way it's shot or anything like that, but where it's actually funny and it doesn't take itself too seriously. But then all of a sudden they're like, I'm fucking scary, bitch. I'm not a comedy.
It had Sam Raimi mixed with the dude that did the Conjuring series.
James Wan.
James Wan. If
Yeah.
I felt some James Wan touches throughout, well, not the Conjuring, but more of a Insidious.
Like a less poppy James
Actually,
Wan.
that's exactly what it was. I was gonna say, yeah, it's like The Visit meets like Insidious. I mean, it literally is like Insidious, especially when they do the conversation about the baby and a portal opening up. It's just there's a lot of the furthering I felt was going on there. But anyway, it's a great ass movie. Either it would have been great to see in the movie theater, or it would have been. I think they could still do it. Put it in the drive-in where drive-ins are available.
Yeah, that would be good too. This would be a fun drive-in movie to see. It would be a really fun drive-in movie to see. So anyway, anything for Jackson, guys, link to Night Streams below. Go check it out. Again, they're not like paying us to say this or anything. I'm just legit telling you guys you'll enjoy the fuck out of this movie if you want to go see it.
By the way, we have our check coming in the mail next week.
Yeah, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, no problem. No, actually, they don't pay us shit except for frowns and disappointment. But because they're like, oh, these asshole reviewed it. It's a great film. It's a great flick. It's overall one of the better ones I've seen. Mm-hmm. And if you're not doing anything, why not watch it? Jesus, if you guys are into horror, watch it. If you're in quarantine,
get it up inside your bean sacks.
It's stupid.
Anyway, so since we're here, we'll do some movie news as well. There's a couple stories. Actually, I think we're running pretty good on time. We can probably get to a couple of them for your buttholes. Jay, I know this news will excite you. I know you know a little bit about it already, but Resident Evil. We know they're doing something with Netflix. We know they're doing an animated series. We know they're
Netflix. I don't give a shit about.
Yeah, they're trying to do some weird Stranger Things.
That's awful thing.
Bullshit. Let's make them teenagers and riding bikes.
As soon as I heard that, I was like, "Where's my garbage bin? I need to vomit chunks in it. You've done it again, Mila Jovovich. He isn't even here for you to do it, and you still did it."
Yeah, but they came out with some awesome fucking news, man. So it's going to go back to the first and second movie. And again, before I say this, can I just say something? Can I just say that you and I have been saying that they should do this since the second goddamn Resident Evil movie?
Dude, I thought that the Resident Evil video game series was so good and so great as it was. Like, I just thought the storyline was perfect. Everything was perfect. It was already, like, pretty much ready-made for cinematic release. George Romero was on board to do it. I don't know why they had drifted so far away. I know why. I actually know why, because the interviews back in the day had said to the effect that they were afraid to bank a lot of money on a video game adaptation, to film, because it might lose money. So they were like, well, let's just cut this, do that, do this. And when I first saw this article, I didn't even want to read it, dude, because I was like, I felt like Hawkeye. I was like, don't do that. Don't give me hope. Because I saw that who was going to be in it, and I'm like, oh my goodness gracious me. Have you seen Light? Have you finally seen it? Has it broke from the clouds and Apollo has lifted his skirt?
The Halo music plays above us.
It's one of those things that, you and I think it was even asked, like, what's one horror movie that's deserving of a remake? And we don't even like remakes. That is fucking it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's one of them.
Absolutely, man. Because okay, so for those of you who don't know, they are going back and they're going to do the first two games. They're going to do the first two games in movie form. They're going to have Johannes Roberts, Johannes Roberts.
It sounds like a substitute teacher at a Catholic boarding school that you don't want to get. Hey, did you guys hear Johannes Roberto? He's at 203.
It just sounds like a bad guy's name you'd scream like when he fucked you over, like you realize that he peed in your apple juice and you're like, Johannes!
or the guy that Scarface used to partner with, but he finally fucked his sister. Roberto Johannes!
I will call you high wheel by spoon! I don't know what the fuck that was. But anyways, Johannes Roberts, director of 47 Meters Down, never seen it. The Strangers Pray at Night, did see it, was excellent.
Awesome.
We both dug that. I dig the cut of his shit from what I've seen from him so far, though. And apparently he made a Mandy Moore shark cage movie, pretty entertaining from what I've heard from people who've seen it. But anyways, he's going to be directing it. And what they're saying is that it's going to, let me see. I'm going to go back to exactly what he said. He said, with this movie, with this ring,
with this power,
with this movie, I really wanted to go back to the original first two games and recreate the terrifying, visceral experience I had when I played them.
I love it. He's a fan.
At the same time, telling a grounded human story about a small, dying American town that feels both relatable and relevant to today's audiences. If there's one thing I know about audiences in 2020 is that we all can relate to feeling like we're dying.
Yeah, for sure. Isolated all over the place. And I did like the fact that I don't know if it mentioned in that article, but I did read that they had said that it's going to take place in 1998. So it's actually following the game, where it took place in the outskirts of Raccoon City, in the mountains in 1998. And I love, dude. Not only the fact, like, I wish that I would have more of the mansion and just do the game adaptation, but the fact that they're putting a cast of characters in there that I've always wanted to see actually realized, and they're going to be the main. They're going to be the main ones. It's not going to be, super bitch from the Matrix that nobody knows, Alice, coming in to save the day with her superpowers. It's going to be the actual characters that Leon, Jill, Claire, Chris.
Well, let's run down, and you're dead on, by the way. It says the origin story adaptation of the games is set in Raccoon City in 1998. So the games are. So it doesn't really say that the movie is, but I have to assume it is. But run down the list. The cast includes Kea Scodelario, who was the chick in Crawl, the badass chick in Crawl, the swimmer chick.
Yeah.
Excellent.
She's gonna play Claire.
As Claire Redfield, excellent
Perfect.
choice. I don't know anybody else except for one person, but Hannon John Kamen from Ant-Man and the Wasp as Jill Valentine. Robbie Amell as Chris Redfield, which I think
is he looks just like him. And the guy that's playing Wesker, which Tom Hopper, dude, I know you haven't seen it yet, but you got to watch it. It's such a striking contrast to his character in the Umbrella Academy. Yeah. He plays like the big giant softy dude in the show as the superhero, but he's like a softy, but I could see him physically to be that part. But I mean, Albert Wesker, I always said Albert Wesker, if he was younger, it would have been really good. Aaron Eckhart probably would have made a really evil Albert Wesker, especially the way that he did. Well, no, I did smoking. Thank you for smoking. Mm-hmm. Like just this like very corporate dude.
Yeah.
And Albert Wesker is one of my favorite characters, but dude, I just love it because Chris Redfield is arguably the protagonist of it, and then Leon Kennedy, he's the protagonist of Resident Evil 2, but I think a lot of people would say that Chris Redfield is the dude. He's the dude. Like, he's been the dude since the first game.
Yeah, and it's not just that. Like, also, by the way, just to mention, make sure we don't make them feel like butt if they ever happen to watch this, but also Avon Jogia from Zombieland, Double Tap as Leon Kennedy, and Neil McDonough. Neil McDonough, I want to say Hugh. And Neil McDonough, the G is silent. Real G's move in silence like lasagna, as William Birkin. But, dude, the thing I'm most excited about is the fact that it's exactly, dude. It's fucking exactly what you and I have been saying for years.
Yeah, I know.
Go back to the first two games. Make it slow. Do it sexy. Do it scary. Simple. Zombie in a haunted house. Fucking let's go. I mean,
yeah, I feel like you know what, this is theirs to lose, that's what it is. It's theirs to lose because there's got to be so much fan pump about this. You know, you and I are excited. I'm sure there's a lot of hardcore Resident Evil fans. I'm a hardcore Resident Evil fan. Mike loved the series growing up. There's a lot of these, us community that have wanted an actual representation of the game done right for a long fucking time. And I thought it was dead. Paul W.S. Anderson basically took a shit on it and peed on it and then vomited on it and said, there you go. That's your legacy. But no, this guy comes out of the dark like he's motherfucking Gandalf the White in Lord of the Rings. It's like, I'm ready to do battle with you, you son of a bitch. And I can't wait, dude. Again, it's theirs to lose. And the cast is, like, again, the cast is great. I saw their pictures. They do match up. They do look like the characters that I imagine in my mind. I mean, of course, I would have picked different characters or actors, but it really throws in a lot of things, dude. Like, are they going to throw in, Ada Wong? Is she going to have anything to do with it? Are they going to throw in Sherry Birkin? Are they going to throw in the mansion at all? Because he can't give everything away, but are you going to get the Spencer mansion with the traps and all that bullshit that's going on there? Barry Burton. Is Barry Burton going to be in it at any point? There's a lot of things that you can digest, but the fact that that he's a fan and he's moving forward with this idea, man, it's a good time to be alive in the 2020 times. Not really, but it's good news.
They're planning on it releasing in 2021, which me don't believe this. I don't think you can make a movie and release it this year. It's just going to be too crazy.
Unless they have plans. And again, I don't think if it's directed well, if it's written well, and they have a good chemistry on set, maybe they're planning on putting it into a VOD. Which, again, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that they could do that because, well, we just did that movie for NIGHTSTREAM.
Sure, but I mean, it's a big enough title that if movies are still in theaters, they should.
Well, I'm saying that might have been the way they convinced these studios to take a chance on them when they're like, well, we can ask for a little bit of money so we can have, like, a smaller release or something.
Could be VOD right up my butt. Hey, I didn't tell you about this, man, but we're just zooming through time, so we might as well talk about it tonight and save some filming for Monday. Did you read that Halloween story in Bloody Disgusting?
No.
It's wild.
I don't read graphic, gory magazines, Mike. Are you serious?
I'm a proper lady.
Southern living for me and home baked goods.
To give the author some credit here, Jason Jenkins from Bloody Disgusting did a really cool article. They have this thing on there called Phantom Limbs, and it's kind of the same idea, not that we created. It's been done before us too, but where you talk about movies that never happened. You know what I mean? So like Phantom Limbs makes sense. Like it's supposed to be there and it's not. It's a great idea. I admire it. But
we did do that.
Right. No, I mean we do that a lot. But I'm saying
they ripped us off.
You
I'm
bastards.
Kidding. Oh God. And I thought that we got this covered was worse. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you can say that about anything, but like they made news about movies? Those fucks.
Oh God.
But anyways, he talked to this dude, and again, I didn't plan on this, so bear with me just a second. I'm kind of working through it. But the writer's Jake Wade Wall. Jake Wade Wall. Jake Wade Wall. His name was Robert Paulson.
Jake Wade Wall.
He was. So what he said was he'd been hired to do a draft of Halloween Resurrection. And he was working with an exec over there. I'm paraphrasing a little bit for him here. Nick Phillips. We were both incredibly enthusiastic about the franchise and really excited by it. We were just nerds about it. And I would talk about Halloween constantly. We knew every character, every death, yada, yada, yada. After turning in Resurrection, I was told that there was some kind of internal, let's press pause on where the franchise goes next. And so
because somebody had a boner for Busta Rhymes, the sons of bitches.
After you put out something like Resurrection, you're always like, I need a break, dude.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing, dude. If you were responsible for the bastard child that was Resident Evil Resurrection, not only did you fuck Jason in the butt to get that Necronomicon book and bring the dead back to life with the fucking Busta Rhymes cast, you have to tell yourself when you look in the mirror, like, I fucking killed it. I fucking killed a franchise. It's like George Clooney looking at himself, and he's like, I killed Batman. Like, it's the same thing.
And not to mention that he was the writer. I think there was a whole bunch of writers. Like, he was just brought in to help.
No, I know.
I get what you're saying. I just, in case that, you know what I mean. You know how people are. Like,
Yeah. He probably come out of the woods like, I just want that bastard motherfucking asshole, no hair having asshole Jay to understand that I didn't write the son of a bitch, just like I didn't write his sex life. I know it's been terrible for you, but don't get mad at me.
Don't worry.
I just roasted myself. What's wrong?
Anybody who's ever been in on a movie set is never going to watch this shit, so we're safe. It says, after turning in Resurrection, I was told there was... Okay, I already said that. But he said, so I'd come up with an idea for the missing years. And now this is the film that ever happened. It's called The Missing Years. Halloween, The Missing Years.
No.
And you're already like,
is this the Grossi, the next generation?
No respect for this idea.
I won't have this in this house. I won't have this.
If you were Maleka Khan and he's sitting down at his desk, you're like,
I would.
So my idea is the missing. Get the fuck out.
If I were Maleka Khan, they said, hey, it's called The Missing. He's like, let me tell you something. I wipe my ass with the tears of wonder years. Okay, it's been done. Get that out of my face. Give me something new. You piece of shit. You made me feel like Jeff Goldblum walking upon the dinosaur poop. That is one big pile of shit.
It's one big pile of shit. I said, so I'd come up with an idea for the missing years. And basically, and actually it's not as bad as it sounds. It does sound like...
that title is awful.
It sounds like Blossom, The Missing Years.
It does.
The Missing
or some
Years.
Nickelodeon bullshit that nobody wants to know.
But he said, and basically said, hey, it's a completely different direction, but maybe this is the shot in the arm it needs to keep the franchise going, but in a different direction. They responded to my take. They hired me. They hired him to base. It was a real thing. I wrote it. I was really excited about the prospect of that one. A year or two after finishing that script, it was decided internally, no, let's hire Rob and just do a remake. Rob, obviously being the old crusty bearded pirate himself, Rob Zombie.
Old bedbug beard himself.
But he said the missing years would have been the last of that franchise before it was remade. But wait, there's more. He goes on to mention...
Tell me to it, Stephen.
Oh, goodness gracious me. He says, Halloween 3 was my inspiration. We have Halloween and Halloween 2, and it's Mike Myers and it's Laurie. Halloween 3 comes out in theaters. It has nothing to do with any of them. So when the franchise picks back up with Halloween 4, for years I thought, where was Michael that year? When we saw Season of the Witch, where did he go? Where did you go, George? Where did you
Where
go?
are you, Michael? Where is you?
So
Come out hiding. You're hiding.
The whole concept of Halloween, the missing years, was to fill in where he was during Season of the Witch. That was the concept of how can we, for the diehard fans, tie Season of the Witch into the franchise. The concept
He was at home washing his tights.
This town is an enema. The concept was this: if Halloween is the night he came home, I started to think, wait a minute, yeah, okay, that's the night he came home. But his real home was the asylum. That's where he really grew up. So the concept of the missing years was to begin the film by exploring a bit of his childhood in the asylum and kind of fill in some pieces we didn't know about him. That's where I get off the bus, Jim. I don't want to know any fucking more about Michael. Ever.
I know. Yeah, I felt like the guy in Super Troopers when he's jacking off and it's feeling really good, but finally that car speeds by. He's like, oh, and
the red lipstick on the billboard.
And, he's like, ooh, and then he's like, oh shit, fuck, and he can't finish because like that's exactly what happened right there. A speeding car drove by me and I can't finish. But yeah, I can't get on board with that. Like, look, the whole idea about Michael is you know enough. Look, he was a fucked up kid that sat there staring at a wall, watching the paint dry, and it's like, you know what? One night, bitch, I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna murder your whole fucking community, and that's what I'm gonna do because Stone Cold said so. But that's all I need to know. I don't need to know if he was an abused kid or if he had problems or if he peed and pooped. I do want to know those details. I want to know if he peed and pooped.
I do want to know if he peed and pooped.
Yeah, that's all I want to know. Yeah, that's it. But otherwise, everything else, leave it alone, man. Like the whole idea about Michael Myers is the mysterious mystique part of his childhood. So I don't know. I don't like. Everything else, what he said about where was Michael between Halloween 2 and 3, he was a burnt up fucking crispy treat. Like, I don't know. I mean, he got burned up in the hospital at the end of Halloween 2, and I would imagine that the motherfucker's been in a morgue for a while.
They do reference that, and I won't go through the whole thing because it's a really long and well-written article, but I won't go through the whole thing, but I'll give you the beats of it. One of the things he said he was going to do was, in his mind, like, where do you go when you're hurt? You go home. You go to the place where you know they're going to
the hospital.
They're going to or Smith's Grove, where you know they're going to take care of you. And he did say something to the effect of, we explained what happened after Halloween 2 because I think Michael is hurt and he wants to go where he'll be taken care of, so he goes back to Smith's Grove. But what they do say that is pretty cool that I am into is that apparently they tie in a bunch of tiny characters from the previous movies into it again, like kind of forgotten characters. They were going to bring some of those characters back.
I wonder if they would have thrown Dr. Chalice in there.
They don't mention Dr. Chalice, but right, you would have to. But it does mention that he fucks people up at the asylum. Like, he goes back and there's one character who was actually really nice to him. So it's like that Danny Trejo and where he's like, I was good to you, Mikey. That's
I hate that first thing I thought
of. But he apparently goes back, he fucks people up, and they say, the way he says it is like, there's a second where you think Michael Myers is going to sympathize with the person who'd been good to him, but then he doesn't, and you realize, okay, he's still a cold killing machine. What I don't like is that he mentions specifically, he says he did get the same mask back after Halloween 2. It was iconic too, and Halloween 2 was addressed, but he says that one of the things he wanted to know was, like, why specifically that mask, and just kind of fill in some of the fun lore that came specifically from that institution. So when the concept would be cut to the present, when Season of Witch is unfolding, I never did address it specifically that film, but I filled in that there was a missing year that he didn't come home. So where did he go? He went to Smith's Grove. He went to his real home. He was returning back to what was essentially the place he grew up during his formative years. It was basically him going to him wreaking havoc on the asylum. I don't need you to explain why that mask.
No,
that's the only thing I don't like.
I was gonna say, I don't know, like, I don't feel like it would have been a good movie. I feel like it would have been a good companion piece to another movie. Like, I feel like it would have been a good, like, 30-minute, like, extra on a DVD or a DVD or you know, like an extra.
Great character to the DVD commentary.
Yeah, that's what I do. But yeah, I feel like it would have been that's as far as I don't think fleshing it out into a full hour and 25, because now it really starting to sound like American Horror Story bullshit or something. I don't know. It really does sound like shit. I mean, you're basically telling me that Michael, after he got burnt to a goddamn weenie roast time at the end of Halloween 2, went back to the asylum and went Karen. He went fucking Karen on everybody for not taking care of him. He's like, I told you to give me the best service and you never did. I'm going to kill all of you. It's bad. And people are like, well, where did Michael go? What happened to Michael? Like, I think that Michael Myers, at the end of Halloween 2, and he wasn't fucking dead, he either chilled out in a morgue locker for a while. People were either examining him and seeing what the fuck made him tick, because he's one of the most nefarious serial killers out there, or he went into a goddamn field somewhere. You just hung out until, you know, he had to, because, you know, look, we just did, the review's not out yet, but we did a review for the novelization of Halloween 2. And in the novelization, when you hear Dr. Loomis describe Michael Myers, he says whatever dark spirit guides him is the one that tells him where to go, when to go, and at a specific time.
When to go. When to
yeah.
go.
And yeah, he'll fucking turn into a monster and kill you. But yeah, dude, I don't know. The stuff about the childhood stuff, the asylum part seems cool, but I feel like that could be a scene in a movie. Like, it would be cool, like in just a regular Michael Myers movie, if he, like, what was that we did that where they were having the idea of Michael Myers. Yeah,
it was
something like that.
Animation shots of Michael Myers. Well, this will really squeeze your butt cheeks. Then he mentioned somewhere in the article that they thought that they could make 4 fucking movies out of this.
No,
4.
I count 1, 2, 3, and a 4 down. Actually,
4.
you know what?
Wow.
They would have been bad. But I would have taken anything after the butt smear that was Resurrection at that point. I mean, I would have taken anything.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like somebody, like, I've been suffering with. I was a junkie without a goddamn cocaine.
He mentions that he, like, and again, read the article because I'm paraphrasing. Don't come back like he did fucking not. But I'm pretty sure he mentions in there that at one point he'd heard something softly in the winds of whisper that they were talking about Rob Zombie directing that. I'm pretty sure he said. I'm pretty sure.
Rob Zombie never would have done it.
That would have been awful.
Yeah, and if he had done it, he would have fucked that. He would have fucked that right in its donkey butt.
Well,
it would have been.
I'm not as against this whole idea as you are. Like, I have the exact same trepidations you do, dude. Like, I don't want it explained. I don't want the mask. I don't want any of that stuff. But it kind of seems to me like what I like about it is that if you got to go and explore where Michael was, it doesn't have anything to do with Laurie. It doesn't have anything to do with the same shit. It's not the same path we're going on. We're going on another path, and we get to see Michael Myers terrorize a whole different group of people. That part I like. It's not tied into anything else, which I've always kind of wanted to see Michael Myers outside of his own storyline, just doing other shit. But, and again, it's in the storyline because he goes back to Smith's Grove. But I've also kind of wanted to see Michael Myers in an institution, kind of like H2 in the hospital, but a full hospital fucking people up left and right. There's things about it I really dig. And four more Halloween sequels instead of Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 1, I think I'll take that bet right now, Jim, and I'll sell, or buy.
I just don't think it would have worked cinematically. I just think that people would have got tired out of it. I just feel like it was one of those flash pan ideas that might have worked. Again, maybe you could have combined enough stuff to make it one movie, but after that, people were like, you know what? I don't give that much of a shit about whether or not Michael Myers was a damaged youth or he had all these problems, and then he goes back to because
as long as
Michael
you don't touch
Myers,
on that part too much, yeah,
and also, and the fact is, I always thought, and it's true, in my opinion, he's the smartest of all the killers, Jason, Freddy, even. I mean, Freddy can talk and he's intelligent too, but he's smarter than fucking even Freddy. Mm-hmm. He would never revisit a place, the insane asylum. He would never go back there because he doesn't need to. His rage was in Haddonfield. His rage was at that house. There's no point the way that John Carpenter had him laid out and what other writers had done with him at that point, he would never return to a place where he felt confined just to exact revenge. He's not that shallow of an individual or serial killer. But again, that's my opinion. People might have other opinions about it.
That's a good point. That's a good point, though. I mean, he does. I mean, but he, in the other sequels, he does just go sit in his fucking house like a weirdo.
But it's his house where he committed his first murder.
Yeah, no,
so that makes sense. But and it's not like he's gonna go back to the asylum and because it's like, who touched my fucking wall? Well, I was gone. Who touched my fucking wall?
He just got a hankering for those weird fucking cheese sticks they used to make.
He's lunch. Like, I used to have a booger collection right there, and now it's been painted over. But overall, you know what? Honestly, I would have been fine. I really would have been fine if they put something like this, 30, 35 minutes on a DVD extra as a companion piece to the story. Or honestly, even if they want to do an exploration of how Loomis sees Michael Myers or something in his eyes or something like that on HBO or a one-time Netflix series in 3 episodes or something like that. I just don't see Michael Myers himself. And honestly, going to the movie theaters and watching Michael Myers, The Lost Tapes, fucking 4 movies. Like, I'd be like, this is stupid.
Yeah. Well, I thought, I mean, there's things I like and things I don't like. I don't like, obviously, the explanation of why he chose that mask. I don't like any more explanation of Michael Myers than we already fucking have. But I do like the idea of Michael Myers sidestepping and going on another fucking, side mission or whatever. And then I like the idea of making 4 movies out of that because to me, it hinges on how interesting the characters are. He does mention that Loomis would have something to do with it, which is impossible at this point because Donald Pleasance is dead. But I guess they would have recasted. But that would have been interesting. He mentions Jimmy from Halloween 2 having something to do with it, and breadcrumbs to several other characters having to do with it. If those characters are interesting, and if they're so surprised by Michael Myers' presence, you really get to live through their fear, I think it could be interesting to watch Michael do something like that. That being said, 4 movies...
you gotta be real careful. No, I agree with you if it's done right, but you gotta be real careful when you're playing with them hot taters because you could fuck that legacy. Buddy. You could fuck that legacy up. Like by doing something like that, I mean, you could even damage it worse than what Rob Zombie almost did with how he had that backstory. Because I promise you right now that Malika Todd would have said, okay, because the golden rule, you can't kill Michael. That's the golden rule. Yeah. But he never said you can't fuck with Michael's background a little bit because he let Rob Zombie do it. So, I mean, I'm not saying that Malika Todd would be like, oh, well, it might be interesting. Or Malek. Yeah. He's like, Malak. You gotta say it like that. But he let Rob Zombie, fuck around with
actually. I think it's Malik. I think we're both fucking wrong.
Or anyway, Malik.
Sorry.
Whatever. Yeah, Akkad.
I'm correcting you so the audience doesn't have to. That's all. That's all I'm trying to do.
Oh, I know. We'll get accused of all sorts of fucking bad shit right there. But it's like you racist motherfuckers. Like why? Because I mean, we mispronounce names. I can't even say Mike's name right sometimes. But I'll say Meek or instead of Mike. But anyway, so I think that the explanation of the mask, like, yeah, I mean, you could play around with that idea. You could be like, well, Michael chose this particular mask because it represents the bareness of his soul, or it calls out to him. But like, that's just too much information. I don't want to know. Honestly, God, I don't want to know what makes Michael tick. I don't want to know what Michael's motivations are. I don't want to know anything about what that guy is doing except that he's purely and simply evil, like Loomis said, and that's what makes him fucking scary and terrifying, and that's what's made him so popular over the years. Look, they gave Jason a backstory, they gave Freddy Krueger a backstory, Chucky's got a backstory, even goddamn Pinhead with pins coming out of his fucking head has got a backstory. Michael Myers at least has been vague until Rob Zombie took a bed bug infested shit on it. But other than that, people didn't know what to deal with.
Kill them worthless animals, boy.
Yeah, well, they knew, as far as what they knew about Michael Myers up to that point was that he was a normal kid in a suburban neighborhood growing up, raised correctly in the late 60s, and for whatever reason, he stabbed them sister's titties and went on a rampage one night. That's what it was, and that was scary because that could happen in any suburban neighborhood.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. I agree with you. Do not explain. I will not sit here and let you lecture me about new things that have to do with Michael Myers. I will not. Okay,
Kamala. Okay, Kamala.
It's Senator.
I gotta go take care of Jeff Goldblum and The Fly. Give me a second.
Well, I have to return some video. I swear to God, dude. Every time Pence spoke last night, I was like, he sounds like American Psycho. I was literally waiting for him to be like, I've got to return some videotapes. Like, did you notice that, dude? Like the way he dictates his words. Oh my!
I don't know. I don't know what I was more focused on. His pink eye. or when he did speak in measured tones, he's like, listen, what I want to do for this country is basically, have you heard Huey Lewis in the news? Studio is a great example of what, but no, it's all, guys, by the way, we're not political here. I'll make fun of Kamala Harris.
We'll make fun of both of them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Excuse me. Anyway, I'm gonna start doing you like Kamala did, by the way. I'm like, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. The woman is speaking.
I would have thrown a Trump in there as like a woman should be seen, not heard. It's a joke. But anyway, guys, that was some good news. That was some interesting news for sure. And again, I agree with you. The fact it would have been awesome to see 4 Myers movies. It would have been awesome to see it. I would have got, like, eventually by the second or third, like, all right, we got to stop this lost years bullshit because it's getting on my nerves.
Saved by the Bell, the college years.
Yeah, I was like, fuck that. I mean, Zach loves Kelly and Slater's an asshole, whatever. But here's the thing. It's just interesting. I love the ideas that people that had in the day that were never realized. But I just feel like you got to be. Michael Myers is such a beloved character. His story is such a beloved story, and his myth and his legend is, I think, in our opinion anyway, he's the greatest of all time. I mean, I mean, we're gonna see at the end of this month what's the greatest horror movie of all time. But I'm just saying, like, in our opinion, he's the greatest of all time as far as like serial killers go.
I think.
But I just
Sorry.
think that you got to be real careful with it. Like, if I were in charge of Michael Myers, the main thing I would do is I would stick with what the basics were that John Carpenter started with. Is that he doesn't really have a backstory. He's a very, very blank slate kind of backstory. He's a murderer. He's determined. He's a one-way ticket. I got you in my sights, bitch. Like, that's what he is. Like, he's the Terminator. He's the Terminator of serial killers.
All points bulletin.
He goes, and they will never stop until you are dead. Like as Reese said in Terminator. But that's what he is, and that's what I would stick with. But you know, it's really interesting to have all these different creative points of view. And yeah, dude, it's so easy to fall into that shit though. Like, I want to explore his background and his childhood and see what's going on in his mind.
No,
I think
better
not.
left unsaid. Dude, I think while you were talking, I think I realized what my dream job would be. I think yours too. I just want to be the guy that screen shit for the ACODs to read. Like you got to get through me before it gets to them. You know what I mean? Like, because I would look at this like, my whole point of saying this is like we're not even shitting on this dude's ideas because I think he's got some good stuff there.
We're making jokes. Ideas.
We're making we got terrible ideas. I've written so many terrible ideas, but like some of the ideas are good. But I would just love to be the person who looked at this and be like, I like what you've done here. This here, no, fuck this. This has got to go. The mask thing, no. Explanation, no. I like the idea about him going back to Smith's Grove and fucking people's faces up. That could stay. I don't like this. I like this. That would be the best thing ever. Like, I think as any fan, that would be the best thing. Now, then you hand it over to the big guns and they're like, you make the choice, sir. It's past my recommendation.
But then it's on you. If it's fucking shit and they hate it, your ass is on the fucking fire.
Well, I'll just go work on Friday the 13th.
I would be like this. I'd be like, yeah. You'd be like one of those things like, yeah, so I read your pitch. I gotta say, a lot of passion was put into it. I gotta say that right off the bat. I was impressed by your huge commitment to this project. But at the end of the day, listen, man, have you ever thought about being a bagger at Kroger? Because they are always hiring, and writing is sometimes a hit or miss kind of thing. You know what I mean? So basically what I want to say is, like, this is fucking shit. You dare bring me this? But no, you basically want to be the guy that says, fuck you. Like, fuck.
Well, I just want to be the guy. It's not even that. And by the way, respect to Kroger baggers everywhere. That's not. We're not shitting on. We're not stepping.
No. I need a job now. I'll take it.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but no, what was I going with? It's not even that. I just want to be like it, need it, got it, like it, need it, got it. And then when you come across something like we're gonna explain the mask, I would just crumple up in his face and be like,
"No, you got
that's your career, fucker."
You gotta take that deep inhalation of breath. You're like, "Oh man, it was going so good too." And he'd be like, "Huh? What?" I'm like, "Nothing. I'll get back to you on that." Wow, whoa, what a train wreck that just came out of nowhere. Like, because that's what it'd be like. You'd be like, don't sit on the track when the train is coming.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Like again, it was a very interesting piece of news. And look, anything on it, and I'll say it again, anything after Resurrection would have been gold. It would have been fucking gold. I would have licked the taint of that movie.
Yeah, I still want to see Halloween 9, and this would be a way to do it. I'm not even saying I'd be against this. They did this right now. You announce this right now. I'd be like, okay, we got Halloween Kills coming. We got Halloween Ends coming. But in between, Halloween, the lost year.
Put it on.
I'm fucking in.
Hey, man, put some hash browns on that and send that to the internet. Put it on YouTube Red.
On it. Put some steak on it.
Hey, you know what? I don't care. Hey, look, fucking make some shorts. Put that motherfucker on YouTube Red. Netflix will pick it up next year, and you got a Cobra Kai on your hands.
Give us some to eat.
What are you waiting on? But yeah, dude. Yeah, sucking those dicks, left hand and right hand. And eating them. Have you actually seen him eat a dick? Yeah, I did. I did. I've seen him. But yeah, man. Yeah, it's interesting stuff. I love deep diving into this stuff, like what could have been, what might have been, what should have been in some cases. But man, I'm glad it didn't happen. I'm not saying I wouldn't see a Halloween 9. The weird thing is though, is like his idea about drawing in all the other characters from previous films. It kind of felt like an Avengers Endgame kind of situation.
Well, it's kind of what they're doing in Halloween Kills right now, right?
Well, they are, but I mean, but you're not going to see Dr. Chalice and Shamrock or anything like that. But it would be interesting to see if this guy's idea was to do something like that, to pull in the Shamrock Company from Halloween 3 and Dr. Chalice, and all having some kind of ties to Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Like even the Shamrock mask.
How would you ever explain Halloween being on the TV in Halloween 3, though, if you did that?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Could not, my son.
Because the only way you could be like, it's like, oh, no, that was a movie inside of a movie. That, and then you're like, that's fucking
It's like
stupid.
Stab and Scream, dude. Or you could just go back to George Lucas it and erase it from history, pretend it never happened.
You know what I've always felt like when he turned on TV, when he turned on Michael Myers running down the steps, or just said Halloween, I always felt like that was still inside the Michael Myers universe, but that was like a documentary. Like
there you go. That would make sense. Yeah.
Like
investigative journalists.
Diplomatic immunity.
All right, guys, that's the fucking show. Unless you got anything you want to add to it, I'm pleased.
No, that's all. I feel good. By the way, when you mentioned NIGHTSTREAM earlier, when we were reviewing the anything for Jackson, I thought you were talking about this show called NIGHTSTREAM.
NIGHTSTREAM. We should change. We should just steal their fucking name. We'll just call it NIGHTSTREAM.
We should just start doing night podcasts and stuff. Just call it NIGHTSTREAM.
I like that. Actually, that's a pretty good.
I kind of like it. I want to steal it.
I can see like picking the intros like NIGHTSTREAM. That's a wolf.
No, I liked it. No, it would be more like we'll fly like the angels of the night. It's like what? It's like NIGHTSTREAMs. Night twins.
By the way, dude, you should watch Hubie Halloween. That shit's funny as fuck.
No, yeah, April and I were getting ready to watch it before we were going to do this, so we'll probably watch that tonight. So
yeah, dude.
I heard it's stupid. I've heard two different. I've heard it was fucking stupid, and then I've heard people say it was great. So I don't know.
It's stupid. It's every Adam Sandler movie. It's like Grown Ups. It's every Adam Sandler movie you've ever seen. But there's parts in it that are funny as fuck, and it puts you in the Halloween spirit, man. It really does. So
no, I did hear that it was the closest to Halloween neighborhoody kind of movie that's out there right now. But I mean, somebody did say that Adam Sandler talks like a shithead.
He does.
I mean,
like,
that's Little Nicky.
As soon as he starts talking, he's like, "I put the Dr. Chili Chocolate."
Oh, no, see,
he's like, "Dude, do a different fucking voice." Like,
yeah, and look, I know there are fans up there of Little Nicky. I've got one close to my heart and fart.
It's not Little Nicky bad, dude. It's not Little Nicky bad.
Yeah, I hate that movie. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know people fucking love it, but I mean, I just hate the way he talks. And it just takes me out of the movie.
It's more Waterboy than Little Nicky. The voice that he does, you know. So I mean,
I can
it's
deal
like
with that.
it's pretty much every voice he's ever done. But anyways, all right, we love you all's fucking face. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast/video podcast. Some of it will be on the YouTube.
NIGHTSTREAMs.
NIGHTSTREAMs. I scream for NIGHTSTREAMs.
I like that. That's what we should go with. You scream, I scream, NIGHTSTREAMs.
They give us fucking press passes to their event. We just steal all their shit. Like all their hors d'oeuvres. Are these shrimp?
Yeah, immediately. It's like, I'll be like, Mike, open your purse.
This is why nobody invites us to anything nice.
Open your satchel while I dump this whole plate of fucking steamed shrimp in there.
It burns, dude.
Don't worry about it. We'll eat it later. Can I have some of your tots?
I'm gonna smell that stink dick now.
Can I have some of your tots?
All right, guys. We do the podcast sometimes. Typically, the video only goes on the Patreon. So if you want to sign up for the Patreon, do that down below in the link below. A bunch of other cool shit you can get there. We'll see you guys very soon. Halloween Horror Month continues up the butt all night, in and around the hole. It is. And we like fucking faces.
We're raw dogging it all month long, baby.
Yeah!
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit. Wants to stab your sister's tits cause he's a white-faced fucker. Loomis can't recover. Dr. Challenge drunk again, sleeping with your sister's friends.
Do you want to know about the darkness?
I said, God damn.
God damn you, Michael!
I said, God damn.
A lot of people don't know the darkness that goes inside their hearts.
I said, God damn.
God damn you, Michael! What are you gonna do on October 31st?